it's disaster capitalism. You know, when people, like we said, are most fearful, when it looks like the world is literally about to end, that's when you can get the most money. Look at what the most profitable industry throughout human endeavors is
Yeah.
war.
Yeah. And it makes people nihilistic as well in their purchasing, running up credit cards because you're never going to have to pay them
Yeah,
off.
sun's going to blow up. We're all going to die. Water's going to rise. This is going to happen,
Yeah, totally.
and things will happen, but we'll adapt.
Yeah.
Read Darwin, people. I know it's dense, but Jesus Christ, man, don't look at fucking Huxley's grandfather's interpretation of social Darwinism because that's just eugenics. That's fucking bullshit. But if you actually look at like classic Darwinian theory, it's adaptability. The
Yeah.
one thing he says is adaptability, whether it be a bacteria, whether it be a single-celled organism to a fucking whale, whatever. It's the pinnacle of that design in that environment and the ability to adapt to it constantly. That is what humans are. That's why we have all the shit that we have. But it feels like I keep describing it to my mate who I took the year of acid with because we obviously
Uh,
philosophize and have ethical conversations like two or three times a week.
yeah.
And so I was talking about this thing of like, I call it formulation theory.
Yeah.
Like everything people have identified, as you spoke about before, the formula. So we know what's a good sitcom. Oh, well, the data and analytics say it needs to have this person, this person. We need to release it at this time. We need this budget. If we use these colors on the font, and it's so that 99% of it is the formula. 1% is the authenticity.
Yeah.
Where it used to be like, the more authentic you were, then the system was there to let you. All you were the thing that was stopping you from rising in any sort of collective public art form, whether it be sort of stand up, being an actor, being a poet, writer, performer, whatever. In any sort of sense, is you used to be the impediment. And granted, there were class issues and backgrounds of various other sort of obstructions that were built into the neoliberal capitalist system, but you could still seek to rise to that. And if now this is, if you've got more of a chance than ever, or you can go viral. No, they've closed all of the gates to everything. If you speak the wrong words, the algorithm shuts you off. Somebody doesn't need to look at your content to go bad. The machine does it while you're uploading it. It decides what it's going to do with your content. Do you know what I mean? And this is so people then go, I'll just do more of the formula. So I'll go viral because I'm doing the formula. Look at the books again. I'll write this book. How I wrote it like this. That's just the formula of the book. Where's the book? Do you know what I mean? And I feel the more I look for sustenance and
Dragon.
substance in everything, the less I see. It's just copy print formula, and this segues in quite nice. So I wanted to ask you about like AI
Yeah.
and like what's happening with comedy writing, because obviously we had the SAG-AFTRA strikes and everything in America, and a big part of that was about comedy writers and performers being able to produce and own their own intellectual property and actually write these things. Because
And
if you look
themselves.
at,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Their own persona.
yeah, well, have their own voice, be their own voice, because obviously there are some people. I read the other day, what's his name,
Likeness.
the guy from Marvel who the old guy died, wrote the books. Stan Lee.
Okay.
Stan Lee's estate have sold his likeness to Marvel for all future movies, so he can have a cameo in all future movies.
Yeah.
And it gets then a bit dystopian because then like, well, what happens 50 years from now, 100 years from now? If that's an intellectual property, if that's a thing, a digital, if they're making assets, I mean, Jesus, there's thousands of hours of me on the internet now. Does that mean they could just create an AI of Simba somewhere? But it would. My point is that what I think, to put my theory on it in and ask the question at the same time. This is terrible journalism or podcasting here. My theory is that AI can't replicate it because all it can do is do the formula. No matter how small the
Yeah.
percentage of authenticity, it will never replicate the authenticity.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I get that. Well, in terms of the doom and gloom that you mentioned earlier, my favorite waiter in one of my favorite restaurants in Toronto, Gujarati Indian restaurant, all veggie, 100 dishes, but all like diverse and wonderful. His name was Bill, and we used to exchange acid together, which is a nice relationship to have with your favorite waiter. And I once sat down at the table, and he came over and just like, without beginning conversation, just said, when I was a younger man, I thought the world was going to end. And then I realized it was only my world. Papa Dumps? I just like, I'll always take that from Bill. I haven't seen him for a number of years, but like, that's how we can get when we were talking earlier about, your perspective doesn't have to be detrimented by the doom and gloom, and as we were speaking earlier, the trauma, mind control that's inflicted upon us. We don't have to, and again, to take your quote of, we don't have to accept that which is presented to us as reality, that, that there's no future, or that our future's bleak, or that, we're in this pressure cooker of no options. And, we can appreciate that everything that we know and can experience in our real life is attainable right now, is here. We can, and to enjoy those moments. If I same when I'm in front of audiences, I'll speak with them about that. We just enjoy here. Yeah, our car might be stolen, our tires might be slashed, our houses might be burned down by the time we get there, but there's no other reality than the one we're sharing. So let's enjoy that.
It's that. You've ever heard of Eckhart Tolle?
Yes, yeah.
Power of now sort of thing. Yeah, again,
okay, yeah,
it's